G'day, it's Rob, Bertie, whatever you want to call me. Back again just for an update on the Beetle. Look, I've been pretty disappointed with my purchase, I must say. It was sold to me as a rust-free body and it certainly isn't. And I am really disappointed with the guy that sold it to me. All this was covered over, and covered over quite well, I might add. And I've paid way too much for what this Beetle is. It's going to need new heater channels. And fender inserts, all this part here's got down to here. I'm going to cut that out across there, put a new pillar in there. I've never done this before, but you know what? I'm watching YouTube and I'm going to have a crack. I'm going to have a crack just to see how I go. So the front end, this is another problem with the car that I wasn't aware of. It had a blue clip put on the front of it, and it was all misaligned, and I couldn't get the top axle tube assembly bolts out all the way because the front had been pushed in. And I didn't realise it, but the bonnet was right hard up against this and way back on the bolts. I don't know if you can see it there, but it was to the back of those slots, way back to the back of those slots, like there. So that's another issue with it. I'm finding all these things as I go, and obviously that is toast. So what happens when you open this door, it's really bad. It just drops. So I've got to get this line aligned and this gap closed up, because this whole pillar here is out that way because of the door. So what I'm going to do is get this body off the chassis, put new floor pans in it, and have a go. Now, I have made, don't look at the welds, you'll be disappointed. I've made a body dolly out of some old tube I had. I went and bought 4 casters. They cost me about 80 bucks. And I put it on casters, 2 directional, 2 straights. So I'm going to get a few blokes to, I've got holidays coming up, so I'm going to lift the body, unbolt the body the best I can, get a few blokes to lift it on the dolly. Then I'm going to move it right over where the bug is now. I'll move the chassis out, I should say, and put the body on the dolly. Now the chassis, I've made the frame wide enough, it's got about 80 mil either side, for the chassis to roll underneath it so I can work on it and just play with alignments. But that's where I'm up to. The body dolly I made this morning out of old tube I had, thanks to my nephew Ben, who gave me the tube, probably 5 or 6 years ago. It's been sitting behind the shed and just not doing anything, so I found a use for it finally. But yeah, look, I've never done this before, so I'm going to have a go. I reckon I'm pretty good at getting everything aligned. I'm going to take it off. I'm going to do the floor pans first, and I'm going to mount the heater channels to the floor pan before I put it onto the body, so I can see where our alignment lies with holes. Anyway, that's the update. That's what I've made. The dolly, I've braced it. It's made out of, the tube wall's probably, I reckon, 3 mil thick, 2.5 to 3 mil thick. It's overall, the centre to centre of the 2 tubes, which will hold the body, was 2,250 millimetres. And the width, I've made the width 1750. The bug's about 15-20 millimetres wide. That's with a standard set of tyres on it. So yeah, that's where I'm up to, and let the fun begin, I guess. This is where the hard work begins. So till next time, hooroo, catch ya.